listeners about what just happened.
So, welcome back to the podcast.
Oh, that sounded very melodic.
You won't even believe for 1 second what I fucking just did.
It's funny.
We literally just recorded a podcast, except I was never recording it.
And it was like what? At least it was probably like 30 minutes.
Yeah, it's probably a 30-minute episode just gone down the motherfucking drain.
But it's okay because we didn't like it anyway, so
screw it.
Yeah.
Welcome back to the podcast.
Welcome.
Just two average, and I mean average girls taking their phone calls to the podcast.
Yeah. Welcome. That wasn't horrible, but yeah, needs work.
I'm going to take a picture of you after, literally, like right now from my viewpoint. You guys can't see it, but I'll post this on like the Instagram. But from right here, dude, you look like you're in a Swiss chalet. Ooh. We just got 18 inches of snow up in Vermont, right? Ready to go down the slopes, bro.
Yeah.
And then go sit and have some spiked hot cocoa.
Shout out to the HSL project and Heavy on the Self-Love for the cute merch. Not really a Pink fan, but when I saw this, I was like, I need this.
Dude, that's fire. So fire. It's got that puff embroidery.
The puff print.
Which, about that later.
Yeah, fire. Thank you, Heavy on the Self-Love. We love you guys.
It is so beautiful.
And that's where my beanie is too. I have a lot of their merch. I kind of know the owner, you know.
It's her brother.
It's my brother.
You guys, welcome back to frickin' Jody Boulevard. We're on the blue velvet couch and we're the two talking fools. And we've got a lot coming to you.
A lot. The lovely Sunday morning, the weekend of Valentine's, hence the pink. I kind of felt like we needed to have some color. I mean, I'm enough color between the both
black,
of us.
But I'm all love. I'm wearing black. Well, this is navy blue. I look a mess because this is what New England in late February will do to you. Like we just want to get out of this rhythm that we're in.
I mean, and we've been going since what, like 7:30, 7 o'clock, something like that. Yeah.
When we got here, the only people that were out were us, the podcasters.
Yeah.
The Cumbies crew. Love them.
Shout out to Dean for our breakfast. Thank you.
And then my brother Dean.
Thanks, Dean.
And and all the guys that are plowing because it's nasty out.
Oh, and can we talk about the guy with the really cool stash? That was fire. I wanted to ask him what he used. It was perfect.
Shab is that friend that and it's a good trait, Shaba. That's why, I know my mother would say, that's a good trait, Shaba.
Oh boy, here we go.
Shaba, if she likes something about you, actually, it's a beautiful trait. I'm being honest here.
Thanks,
honest to God.
Thank you.
You know, you do. Shaba's type of happiness, not everybody has this. We'll be out. Perfect example. We're out there. We're just everybody's making their coffee.
Mm-hmm.
And Shaba looks over and she goes, "Oh my God, I love your mustache." She's like, I really love it. I'm like, how many times are you going to say it? He's like,
dude, it was badass.
No, it's freaking fire. It happens to be Jason Connell. He's like a famous BMXer.
I had no idea.
I happen to know him just because we just know, but
I had no idea.
And he's a tree guy and he's really cool and he's so nice. And he asked about the podcast and everything. And it's a really small world, but
it was nice to meet you, buddy. Keep up the good work with the stash.
She does this all the time. And I think it's so great because a lot of times I just stick to myself, and it's no disrespect. It's just how I feel. I don't know. I just kind of just go in my shell a little bit. But you're always
that's why we mesh. That's why we're the two talking fools, bro.
I know. People always think I'm if you out of the duo, people always think that I'm the extrovert. It's quite
and I'm the introvert. Right.
It's so opposite that people couldn't be farther from the.
Yeah, you guys realize it. Yeah, they don't know it. You know why? Because there's times where my energy, I go quiet, or if I am around people that I don't vibe with.
Oh, that's when I get weird.
Yeah,
I don't vibe with you.
Right, I go quiet. There's no faking anything. So yeah, I mean, I think that's why you're right. People do sometimes get us personalities mixed up, but
they totally do.
Yeah,
they totally do. I feel weirdly, weirdly how we differ. And I don't know, like women, this is a great way for you to like see if you fall in line with us or if you feel different. But like Shaba will Shaba will talk to random strangers. Shaba, and as do I. I'm
Anywhere.
very warm too. I'd like
Anywhere.
to think I'm a very warm person.
Anywhere. Yeah.
But when it comes to weird energy, if Shaba got weird, if she feels something weird with you, she like instantly like shuts down.
I'm quiet.
But it's like noticeable. So
You,
it's awkward.
but you know what though? The funniest part is you'll give me that look
I
because
have to
you're
tell
like,
her to snap
dude,
out of it
you're like,
because
dude, because I
you're
will have
making
it
it
all over my face.
uncomfortable.
Yeah, I'll have it all
Yeah.
over my face. I'm like, nope, I don't fucks with your energy. Something seems off. Nope.
She
Nope.
did it one time and I remember it
I
because
know. I know what you're thinking. I
we were
felt
down
so
at
bad. Yeah, I felt really bad.
Middle Ground Cafe and she was just being a little short with someone and I could feel it. I could feel it from where she was sitting and it hurt me. So I'm like, I wanted to kick her under the table and be like, will you fucking cut it out?
The look that you had, and you were like, dude,
I
the
was
side
so
eye.
upset.
My side eye game is strong though too. I don't realize it until you guys call me out on it. And you're like, Shabs, wow, way to make it obvious. I'm like, listen, I don't mess with that energy. Nope. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm.
No. So where were we even going with that?
I don't even know.
Shit. We just went down a long dirt road.
Well, we
Now
were
we
talking
don't
about
know
this morning.
where.
We were talking about this morning, right? We have a couple of episodes coming up. We have some topics that we wanted to talk about and go over. We could pick one of our.
We could also recap too. We're obviously now here, so we're not sitting in our car anymore. Grateful.
In Cumbies. Yeah.
Super grateful. But we go to Cumbies every time we podcast and practically every day anyway.
Yeah, JPJ, thank you, buddy. Thank you for the space.
Peace.
Thank you. We have a lot of updates coming soon.
And we're gonna have some guests on
Yeah.
on the big the big blue velvet
on
couch.
the blue velvet
On
couch.
Jody Boulevard.
Here on Jody Boulevard.
That's where we are here. It's Jody Boulevard on the blue velvet couch.
Yeah.
And we've got some guests coming. We have one confirmed. We're going to be bringing in a certified licensed
family marriage therapist who has the ins and outs of relationships and whatnot, and she is licensed.
I'm wicked excited for that. So
I'm
if
excited
you
for that
have
too.
questions,
Let
just
us
email us at
Yep.
twotalkingfools@gmail.com or message us.
And let us know. We'll ask them for you. We will ask them for you. Any questions you guys have,
anything
let
you
us
want.
know. For sure. I'm excited about it. I'm here for it. I'm excited. We also talked about having somebody come on so we could do yoga, possibly live.
Yeah, there's a lot of fun things that are
in
happening.
store for you guys. Actually, because you know my brain. You know my brain, bro.
I don't know your brain. By the way, it's just another dreary. How do I say this? New Englanders really need some warmth. We really need some sunshine. Gray days for us are not good anymore. Like we're all very, very tired of this life. So we just really need a break in the weather.
I'm making notes so I don't forget the things that we just said. And I mean, for our listeners, they've heard how this typically happens for me. So if I don't like write this down or put it into our shared notepad, I will forget.
She will forget.
I will forget, guys. You know, I got a lot in this little old brain of mine.
Little old me.
So we have a couple of topics that we have on our list. I think a really, really good one that we could potentially start off with is never needing much. I mean, that's a great segue because we talked about having this spot, right?
I love this topic.
Yeah. Never needed much is the title of this one. I think that we should discuss and enjoying the simplicity of things and being able to create something out of what those may consider nothing. Is that a good way of segueing it? I think of our spot. I don't know, buddy. I think of our spot, like where we're at right now, right? And we had shared that, you know, when we had come in here, when the spot was offered to us, you and I looked at each other and saw a mansion, right? where those who had come in here with us, those who had seen them before were like, oh my goodness, you girls have a lot of work to do. And so we spent like 10 hours that day cleaning and scrubbing and cleaning and running errands to get stuff in here. It was a long day. But I think it was interesting because you and I, it wasn't like, oh my goodness, like, what are we going to do here? It was like, wow, this place is amazing.
Right. Like instead of saying like, this is going to be rough, we're just like, okay, here's what we can do.
Yeah, let's
And
roll up
it's
our
gonna,
sleeves.
this will work perfect.
Yeah, and
And
then you
roll
were
up the
like,
sleeves.
do you want to do this today? I'm like, heck yeah, I want to do this today. What time are we doing this till? And we were like on the same page because we literally saw a mansion out of this place.
We know what we need to do. Like we know what the podcast requires.
For sure.
We know what works, what makes sense. And having a space like this is great. We all we needed ever was a space. But I always, and I don't know if it's how I was raised or if it's just the fact that we were raised in a certain time period,
For sure.
but I always felt like I lived a great life. I didn't have like my mom always said, like, we don't have to have the best. We don't have to have the worst, but you want something that's solid, whatever that is. Like, you don't,
For sure.
so that's how I kind of was raised, but I could always find beauty. And I think my parents taught me that.
I
think
love
that's,
that. I love that.
so it doesn't matter to me how much money I do or don't have, or I can look at a small place and make it really, truly. I know if I work hard and I clean it and I get it, I can make a place I can be very resourceful and I can make it beautiful.
And I think that there's more appreciation in not needing much because you know the work that is put into it. You know the time, blood, sweat, and tears that are put into said thing, whether it's the spot and, having to clean it up and everything that we had to do, or just in general in life. I think that, appreciation for just simple stuff or not needing a lot, it means more to you than
100%.
having everything or, I don't know. I mean, that's my mindset, of course, is, there's not really much that's needed.
I mean, I think naturally people assume like to be successful, you need this. To be successful, you need this.
For sure.
You keep, if people like this, keep talking like this and portraying this idea that you can't start an endeavor or you can't start something without having the best of this or best of that. That's not how it works. That is not how it works. And I am so tired of people who should not have an opinion about this have an opinion.
All the time.
Why is that? If you have a dream or you have a goal,
Oh,
Shava
yes.
and I have a goal.
Yeah.
We have a dream. We have this vision. Hey, we talk a lot on the phone anyway because we're busy as it is. We can't always get together because
it's true.
Whatever.
Yeah.
We also have, we like communicating because we know other people can relate.
For sure.
This is stuff we talk about anyway. So why not just sit here, have a coffee and do it together?
Right.
We can also see the future of it. It could be bright and we're excited for that.
For sure.
But we can't, if we waited until we were able to get like the nicest spot with the perfect amenities and, have it perfectly furnished. How don't I only know how to start from the beginning on up.
Right.
That's it. And
right.
There's no other way in between.
That's fair. I also think at the same time, if it was that simple, people become almost stagnant, right? Because if you have something that's handed to you that you don't have to work for, I kind of feel like you almost get a little too comfortable in a way. Like you don't work as hard because you already have it versus having to build on that to get to what the next stage is. That brings me to something else. So a colleague and I were having a conversation with my boss the other day, and I do listen to a lot of what he says because I think he's a very, very intelligent person. And he has a lot of insight. So there's a lot of things that he will say, or I will have a question about something, and I will ask him for his viewpoint. And we were talking about a certain situation with one of his children and their future and like how excited we all were for different things. And, he's very excited. But it was interesting to me because we were like, we all had assumed that, you know, said child would be automatically going in a different direction. And, they wanted to. But you know what my boss said?
What?
He wants this particular child to start off doing this first to kind of learn the ins and outs of something before doing the next thing. And I was like, wow, that's really, really smart. You know what I mean? And it's similar to what we were talking about when it comes to, having to work, like work for something and like appreciate that and like you earn it and you learn the ins and outs. It's never something where it's like, okay, well, this is given to us or whatever. We had to work for it, so you appreciate it more. And
I
I think
mean,
I think that's
could you
amazing.
imagine
I
the
think that's
day?
amazing. I think that's awesome.
Could you imagine the day that, like, if the podcast were that you had that we could get somebody instead of us doing all the editing and us doing all of everything, having somebody. I mean, but right now, like, if that happens, at least at the end of the day, we can say we remember when it started from the beginning.
For
And I'm
sure.
going to tell you something
In
else
the
about
Cumberland Farms parking
in the
lot
Cumberland
in
Farms parking
Stafford
lot. You can
Springs,
never
Connecticut.
forget where you begin.
Yeah, absolutely not. Never.
You cannot forget. But
Yeah.
it's interesting too. Like, it's weird because we've been doing this since last July
Oh yeah, that's
and
true.
our numbers have always been good, but in the beginning they weren't great. And now
There was a lot of learning and adjusting and
we're
yeah,
definitely in a different position
which is
with
awesome.
viewership.
Yeah. Thank you guys. Thank you. We love you guys.
But the interesting thing too is like you can just sometimes people aren't clapping for you.
Yeah, my brother went through the same thing when he started his
It's just
business.
bizarre to me.
Yeah,
I don't understand it. Like sometimes I just feel like people just don't want people to succeed.
they don't. Nope.
And I'm not getting petty here. And there's no particular, like, don't look at this as like there's a particular boom, boom, boom. It's just, and maybe it's a collective thing of like over the years of different
Experiences and stuff. Yeah.
experiences. And it's interesting how, I don't know, I want to see everybody do good.
Yeah, but that's how you are, buddy. You know what I mean? That's how you are. That's how I am. We want to see
Some
everybody succeed.
people,
You could tell though.
they don't.
And you know what's crazy about that? You know what's really crazy about that? My brother went through the same thing with his business. And you know what ended up happening? Some of his closest friends, like the people that he thought would have been the most in his corner, were not. And that's how he ended up like realizing that unfortunately when you start leveling up, right? Or you have a vision or you have a dream and people can't actually see that, it's no fault of their own, but
Absolutely
that's
not.
why you can't take people to the next level with you. Whatever the next level is to you, whatever the next level is to me and to you, it's different for everybody. But I think when you have a vision, you have something you're working towards, you have a goal, people can't necessarily see that, right? So you have people that will have their opinions because they are excited and you can tell they want to just be a part of it, right? So they might have insight. Doesn't mean you have to necessarily listen, but sometimes, yes, you should listen to those that are coming from, a good place, but the ones that aren't. We've had this conversation ourselves. We've
Yeah.
had people that were
Yeah.
like, where did that even, you know what I mean? Like, what? Where did that even come from?
Right.
Like
It's
the
like,
people that you least expect. Yeah.
yeah, it's
And,
like,
and no one or two people in particular, just general, you know? Yeah,
right.
I
Yeah,
know.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I've always been doing content creation. That has been my career. So this is nothing new
right,
ever.
right.
And like, I will say this, you think about like a Jeff Bezos and you think about, I'll give you another one, Dave Portnoy from Barstool Sports.
Oh my God, love
You
Miss
know,
Peaches.
he started,
I love his dog.
he put so much time, he worked so hard on that company to get it where it is.
Hmm.
He invested just so much time. You often wonder, I wonder how many times he thought, oh my gosh, did he ever have any hesitation? Like, wow, I'm really investing in it. Is it ever going to pay off? Is it
Right.
ever going to amount or accumulate to anything? And I think those are worries for anybody who is starting out, has a dream, but I think in life, you are meant to, if you want to, you are meant to push it. You are meant to
Oh
grow.
yeah.
You are meant to try new things.
Get uncomfortable.
Get uncomfortable.
You have to get uncomfortable. Yep.
And it's okay too if you like safe, if you hold back, maybe you don't go after it because not everything, timing is everything. That's how I feel.
For
So
sure.
maybe your chance doesn't come and I don't know why that is. But yeah, I just think that you should be cheering for everybody. But sometimes people have unrealistic thoughts about businesses or goals or things like that.
For sure.
And I think it's fair for people to be concerned, especially if you're starting out on a venture. But if you always hold back and you don't try,
right,
what are you doing?
But that's why I feel like it's important to get uncomfortable too.
Yeah.
It's like, I had somebody in a corporate setting who used to challenge me all the time. One of my bosses, really, and again, it goes back to bosses. I've been really blessed to work for some awesome people over the years. But this particular gentleman, former military, very cut and dry. I don't know. I actually, really quick, I promise I'll make this quick for you guys. So the reason why I know why him and I hit it off, I know why we hit it off. And I was talking about him the other day, and I feel like I should reach out to him because this is like the second time he's come into my mind. But he came in for a visit one day and everybody was really intimidated by him. Tall guy, like, dressed really nice, like carries himself really well. Yeah, he's fairly bald now, but he not who you're thinking of, not who you think of. But so he came in and I used to work in banking. So I was working on the teller line. I wasn't a teller, but would do anything, like any position anybody needed help with. I just did it, So I was working on the teller line. He was talking to everybody and he wanted to meet me, but didn't know that I was me, because of where I was. I wasn't in my office at the time. And so he had asked a question about some project or something that they had us do. And everybody gave a generic answer. And I'm like thinking in my head, I'm like, that's bullshit. Like, I don't agree with that. So, but I didn't say that. So he comes to me, he introduces himself, and I was like, oh, nice to meet you. He goes, what do you think about this? And I said, do you want the real answer or do you want the corporate answer? And he looks at me and he goes, I would like the real answer. And I told him what I thought. And after that, I don't know, we clicked. But he always, always, always used to challenge me all the time. And he was very open about it because I would say to him, I'm like, what, And he always said to me, you have to get uncomfortable if you want to level up. And he used to always push me to go forward and to go after these promotions because I didn't want to. And, he even said to me one day, and he's like, I'm curious though, why haven't you applied for this? Or why haven't you done that? And I was like, I told him, I said, I'm scared. I told him, I said, I'm too scared. I don't think I'll be able to do it. And he goes, but I'm telling you, you can. You're letting these opportunities leave because you're afraid of getting uncomfortable. And it was the best advice he could have ever gave me. And, I worked in corporate America for quite a few years and I had moved up, the ladder and stuff like that. And then, before finding out it just wasn't for me. But I had a lot of respect for him because he was the one who I ever first heard from that he said, you have to get uncomfortable if you ever want to level up. And I've heard that from a couple of very smart men in my life. You have to get uncomfortable in order to level up. And it kind of makes me think about our podcast.
Yeah.
Okay, that was my little story. I mean, it was a long one, but so just food for thought for you guys. You got to get uncomfortable.
See, where's that SpongeBob thing where it goes 4
hours later? Can we put that in here? Can we add that to this video? That would be, you know what I mean? Like I know we don't edit, but if we could add that,
we're going to edit clips now.
That would be funny. 4 hours later, and then Shaba's still talking. Yeah.
Shaba's still talking.
Yeah, but we have a lot of new episodes coming. Some great topics.
We do.
Some fire guests. I'm really excited that the stars are aligning and a lot of things that we've wanted to do are starting to come to fruition. Praise Jesus. Thank you. But
praising Jesus.
Thank you to you guys. Thank you for our listeners too. Any ideas, questions you guys have, please let us know. We are listening. We are taking notes. We are focusing on this and we're excited for growth in 2025. Anything else you'd like to say, bud?
On to the next one. We'll see you back at Jody Boulevard.
On to the next one.
Jody Boulevard. Baby.
We don't know who Jody is, but come on, Jody